What's up, everybody, man? Welcome into another show, Football Talk with Jay. Today, man, I got my guy. My guy knows a guy. If you guys on Twitter, you follow us, you already know my guy bets pretty much all sports, soccer, baseball, college football, NFL. Let's get to it, man. What's up, bro? Everything good with you Friday?
Yeah, everything's good. Just thanks for having me on once again. And I was watching the show yesterday. I enjoyed the NFL stuff, and I'm sure everyone cashed who was watching the show yesterday with that over on the Cowboys game. That was actually that was a more entertaining game than I thought it was going to be. You know, a lot of first time bettors lost those commercial bonuses in that game. All those big bonuses from the commercials. But it was good to see football back. We're getting back into that season, and yeah, just I'm ready to go. College football week 2. I'm you know what it is, all
Yes,
sports.
sir. Yeah, yesterday, me and my guy, the Shark, came on here. It was the first Football Talk with Jay show. We ended up cashing the over yesterday. So whether you got it at 51 and a half, 52, 52 and a half, it flew over the total pretty much midway through the third quarter, I believe. So we cashed that one. We want to know to start the show. That was my guy Shark's play today. It's myself and my guy here, my guy Friday, man. So let's get to it. I know I wanted to talk about this UTEP versus Boise State game. Obviously, I mean it's going to be game. It's game 4 games tonight. We got plenty of games tomorrow. We're going to be giving out some free picks as well. But me personally, I wanted to talk about this UTEP versus Boise State. I'm real big on letting people know where I'm seeing the money at. I follow a team of guys. Pretty much most of them are on UTEP tonight. Most of them are on UTEP plus the points. I'm not going to say it's a trendy dog because I don't really see many people taking Boise State. It is somewhat of a bounce back game for them. We know they were up 21-0 against UCF in that game. End up covering a full game spread. Probably should have deserved to win that game, but they started off the game with a pick six. Their offense didn't look too good, but we got to. This is a step down in competition now versus UTEP. The way I'm looking at this one, my guy, I'm looking at the team totals. You got the team total for Boise State sitting around 40, 40 and a half. Then the team total for the for UTEP is sitting around 13 and a half or 14. I'll be honest, man. I expect both teams to get over their team totals, and I feel like if you like UTEP with the points here, you kind of have to. You kind of gonna think that they're gonna score some points, at least 2 touchdowns. So I feel like before I take UTEP, I would take UTEP's team total over. I'm liking the over in this game, and something that I did bet, I did take the first half over 30. I have a heavy lean to this over 57 as well, bro. I think Boise State's gonna put up at least 45 tonight, my guy. What you think about that?
I think that they're going to try score as well. I mean, certain teams, group of 5 teams like Boise State, I'll just call it what it is. That game that they played last week against Central Florida, that was like a playoff game to both opponents, to both teams. So when you get into the mindset of a team that has a letdown like that so early into the season, usually their coaches try to run the score up after that against these inferior teams because there's no viable path to a high rank. They can still get to a really, really good bowl game. A team like Boise State run the table, even win the Mountain West Championship. But it's if they want to have, they have to run up the score against teams like UTEP. So I'm definitely aligned. I'm just pulling up the numbers now. What was the number for the team total that you got?
So I didn't take the team total. I was just letting people know how I'm looking at the game. Like I said, I expect both of them to get over their team total. I know UTEP's is obviously the different sites will vary or whatever, but Boise State look like it's up to 41 and a half. Now I'm just looking on Bovada. I don't suggest anyone bet on Bovada. It's just what I'm looking at the lines right now. 41 and a half for Boise State, 13 and a half for UTEP with the over minus 165. I always say shop for the lines. Obviously, it's a huge thing with betting, guys, and it's a huge thing with like cashing your plays as well. So even if you're betting online, I suggest try to get as many online accounts as you can. Put a few dollars in there. That way, you're just line shopping, getting the best line possible. As you know, bro, every half point matters. See what I'm saying? So, like I say, UTEP, the over for that one is 13 and a half. It's minus 160, minus 165, and Boise State over and under is 41 and a half. So, like I said, if Boise expected to get 40 something, I definitely expect UTEP to get a couple of touchdowns in this one. We know how it is. If it is a blowout late in the fourth quarter, UTEP will still. I mean, if they're getting smacked up, they're still going to be trying to score it. Not just going to give up. And we know the Boise State defense could get a little lax as well. They do have a look ahead, possibly. They do have Oklahoma State on deck next week, but regardless of next week, you're 0-1 on the season. They have a new coach over there. You have to show out in this game. Simply put, so I think it's going. I know it's a trendy game for the UTEP. All my sharp guys are on UTEP, but I think I'm gonna stay away from this. So I'm just gonna go with the total. And I feel like if my guys like UTEP, they expect them to score, and I know Boise's gonna score. So I feel like it goes hand in hand. I'm going with the over first half. 30 for me, over 30, my guy.
Over 30? Okay. Yeah, and I believe that the team total for UTEP is very generous as well. I mean, I think it's for the first half team total is very low. When you look at a team like Utah, they're coming off. They played an FCS school last week. They allowed 28 points to that FCS school, Bethune-Cookman. Not the worst FCS school. I've seen them perform against some teams in the past, but it's not. It's at the end of the day, it's a non-FBS school that gave them a run for their money. I know a lot of people are on UTEP as well. I think UTEP can score a bit, but I foresee Boise running up the score towards the end, like mercilessly on these guys. They gave up a look at what happened last week. They have a really well-rounded team. They have 1,000+ yard rusher every season. They had a disappointing game. They expected to win that game, and they were up against Central Florida for the majority of it. Just mentality-wise, I think that they will jump out there on UTEP. But UTEP's also a sneaky team on their own, projected in terms of projections within their own conference. I want to be completely open. I don't have a wager on this one. I don't have a wager on this one.
Got you. Yeah, no, I mean, I can dig it, man. Hey, we don't have to bet every game, and there's 4 games tonight, like I say. So we're just doing this show, talk some football, talk some games tonight. Like I said, I do have official play on tonight's game, Friday night football in Boise, Bluefield.
I'm gonna watch it though. I'm gonna ride with you though, because I think there's gonna be some scoring though. I think it's just the UTEP side. I think that to your credit, the line makers are not respecting UTEP maybe enough, just when it comes to the total. But we'll definitely see. There's a couple of games tonight as well. Yeah, shout out to everyone in the chat too. Subscribe to J Money's channel. Hit the like button. It's all day, every day. Predictions.
You already know, man. You already know. Yeah, first half over 30 for me. UTEP versus Boise State. I must say, man, I might get on this full game too. The only problem was, obviously, they have now. If Boise State does get a huge lead in this one, obviously they will just try to run out the clock in second half. That's something that always worries me with football. But like I say, you're going to see UTEP, if they are getting blown out of the water, we're going to see possibly a late couple of scores for them. I really feel like if you like UTEP, you have to take that over team total 13.5, in my opinion. You have to expect them to get at least a couple of touchdowns. Like you said, bro, they are a lot better than people. People remember the UTEP team from a couple of years ago that was absolutely terrible. They're starting to get a lot better, return 19 starters to this year's team. They're already 2-0 on the season. So I think Boise will come out here and score some points. I think, like I say, the first half team total for UTEP is 6.5. I think they'll have at least one touchdown as well. Boise State, not so great on the defensive end. Obviously, they're trying to get back to more of that spread offense. Boise State of like now 2003, man.
Yeah, the Kellen Moore days.
Exactly.
The real Boise State, yeah.
Exactly.
The track meet. That's what we called them. The track meet. Over. Boise and the over.
And I think
that team was crazy. That team wasn't even
games tonight, bro. Boise State getting up there in the 40-point range, heavy air raid. We should see a couple of big plays. Like, we'd love that for over, right? Like a 75-yard passing touchdown. I think we're going to see some of that tonight. Obviously, UTEP, not the greatest defense. They do have a good defense, but their cornerbacks and safeties, the secondary isn't their strong suit. It's pretty much the front 7, front 8 for UTEP over there. So going up against Boise, trying to throw the ball tonight, man, I think they're going to get at least 5-6 touchdowns. But give me the first half over 30, heavy lean to the full game over 57, guys. I must say, like I say, if
it opened at 55, so it's trending in the right direction.
Yep, I believe some people got 54.5, man. So regardless, man, I was thinking about doing a trifecta spot on this over, man. First quarter, first half, full game. But because look, the first quarter over, let me see. The first quarter over and under is 10 points, if I'm not mistaken, man. It's like 10 points, 10-13. I don't have the first quarter. I don't see this first quarter total, bro. But yeah, no, that's my play, man. I'm going with the first half. Heavy lean to the first quarter over. I think we see points tonight. Points, points, points. So I like the overs. I like both team totals over as well. But official for me, first half over the 30, my guy. Heavy lean to that full game. Anything? Did you have any play on one of these Friday night games? You want to get to some games tomorrow, my guy?
Yeah, most of my stuff's tomorrow. I pretty much dodge these ones. I did see something that's on my radar. I'm a bit of a contrarian, actually a lot of a contrarian, but I did. The Utah State line tonight is suspicious. I think that Utah State might be on upset alert tonight. I don't advise throwing them in parlays or anything like that. If anyone's doing that in the chat, looking for something easy action because it's a low spread. They're playing an FBS school, and I've been pretty accurate on these FBS versus FCS matchups so far this season. It's a pretty small sample size, but I mean, maybe looking at North Dakota tonight with the +7, not +6.5, but if it touches 7, at some books it's +7, but I didn't play it. I'd much rather get into tomorrow's games, but yeah, and tonight's games, it's like it's not the best matchups, but I'll still be watching, looking for an opportunity.
Yeah, I got one of my real sharp guys. He likes the under in that North Dakota and Utah State game. I'm thinking about riding with him on that one, under 53.5. He's a sharp guy. He likes the under, man. So I'm just letting you know, lean for me on that North Dakota Utah State game under 53.5. I might put a little sum on that. That's just me riding with one of my guys there. So, but yeah, we got Kansas versus Coastal Carolina. Obviously, there's nobody taking Kansas in that game. You know, me and you, we pretty much contrarians there. So I know pretty much everybody is taking Coastal Carolina. I mean, they're a ranked team going up against Kansas. Obviously, Kansas isn't too good. I don't have a bet on that game. I'm just letting you guys know it seems to be a lot of people out there liking Coastal Carolina. And in North Carolina, AT&T and Duke, I'm staying away from that one as well. Obviously, I mean, Duke they kind of rebuilding over there. So obviously they could smoke the Moors, but I didn't even really go into that game, man. So over first half, Boise State, UTEP, 30 for me. Heavy lean to the full game as well. Did you have anything on that Kansas Coastal?
Kansas and Coastal. No, I lean towards Coastal Carolina. Though in this game, I did kind of tweet some funny stuff, like just shitting on Kansas. You know, they're an embarrassment to FBS schools, to Power 5 schools. They're a true basketball school in every sense of the word. But Coastal Carolina, it's just very rare that you see a Sun Belt team favored by 4 touchdowns against a Power 5 team. And I think the price is just a little too high for me. But even though I saw some, I mean, I don't have access to such markets, but I did see somewhere Boise State to win by 10 plus combined with Coastal Carolina to win by 10 plus was paying +110. That seemed like I don't have access to that, but if you can get
where the hell was that at?
I think it was Caesars or something, William Hill or something. I saw it online, just scouting. I don't know, but if you can see stuff like that to kind of bring the number down without killing your pocket, maybe. Kansas, I don't expect them to do much at all today, but there is a sample size between these two schools, although it was during the Les Miles years, which wasn't that long, and neither time did Coastal Carolina cover a large spread against Kansas, that large. That's all I have to say on that one, but I'm gonna dodge it. What's up, Shark? My dog.
My guy Shark in the chat, man. Yeah, they doing a college football show tonight as well, man. They're doing a college football show. But yeah, let's get what I say. Like I say, it's only 4 games tonight. It's only 4 games tonight. So let's go ahead and get to some games tomorrow, man. Let's go ahead and get to where do you want to touch, my guy? Because I think I'm gonna give out 3 officials today. I'm gonna give out 3, which 2 of them I already gave yesterday. Iowa State first half full game, but I want to know what you're looking at, my guy, because we probably on totally different games.
Okay, one game I'm looking at is Clemson. Some books are starting to open it up at a higher spread than the one I put in my video. I do like a daily video series with some picks and stuff. I said I took Clemson -45, but it wasn't available on every book. Now it's coming out. You're seeing 49.5. They're playing South Carolina State, an FCS school that is not as good as they used to be in previous years. Clemson is a team that fits the mold for an FBS bounce back spot this week. They're a powerhouse that was disappointed and embarrassed on national TV. They still have NFL talent on their roster. Coaching mastermind Dabo Swinney, I think that they will cover the huge number against South Carolina just off emotion. I think you're going to see one of those ESPN ticker scores where you're just not even paying attention to the game, watching something else, and then you just see, damn, Clemson put up, like it's going to be one of those games. But my only advice would be the 49.5, maybe by 1 point. I don't do that very often, but maybe by 1 point, bring it under 49. I think 49 is a key number, but I know I'm talking crazy because it's such a high spread, but I really think they're about to splatter these guys. Should I just go to the other ones too, or just talk about it?
It's up to you. Yeah, I just
even-
want a couple of words from you. I mean, the Clemson, they are in a bounce back spot. I'm still worried about their quarterback. Obviously, they were going up against a really good defense. Me personally, I'm watching the game. I'm like, I'm not sure. And then the guy has to, get his feet wet or whatever. And that was a tough first game for him to go, to Georgia against Georgia, or whatever. But just me watching, I'm like, I'm not sure about this Clemson quarterback, man. Now, obviously, it's a bounce back spot, and that's me personally, what I look for in week 2. You want to look at overreactions. You want to look at some teams that's bounce back spots, and some of them that came in and played really well in week 1, and now it's time to fade them. They're getting a little bit too much love. So obviously, Clemson, with the team they are, obviously really good recruits. No matter who left to the NFL, really good recruiting. They get a team that they can kind of just beat up on. You see what I'm saying? So I see the logic in that one. It's like, you know what, we're going to take out all our frustrations on this one. I'd have to look and see at who Clemson has the next game. See if they really want to. You know what I'm saying? Do you know who they play next? Could it be possible a little look ahead or something?
Was it? I don't think it was Pittsburgh.
Let me check real quick. I didn't look at that game. I stay away. If it's like some laying over 4 touchdowns, I know
it's crazy, but a lot of times I really do roll into these. It's one of my angles in college football. It worked for me last week. No one bet on Nebraska. They played Fordham University, FCS school from New York. It was minus 41.5. I cashed that ticket. It wasn't easy, but I did cash it because they had that sample size of disappointment in the first week. Clemson, you compare them to Nebraska, much more talented roster. I know people don't trust their quarterback, DJ Wagalele, but a part of my handicap in this game is the coaching mindset of Dabo Swinney. You look at the rest of their schedule, they have a very manageable schedule the rest of the season. The only premier opponent that they had on their roster was Georgia. So if you look at the coaching mindset of Dabo Swinney, all he cares about is getting to the playoff, because that's the precedent that he set, a championship precedent. He's going to try to run the score up on the rest of his opponents. Will he be able to do that against some of the more quality ACC opponents? I don't think so. But against inferior opponents like South Carolina State and some of the bottom feeders in the ACC, I think you're going to really see Dabo Swinney try to really run the score up against some of these teams going for the rest of the season, and it might still not be enough to get them back into the playoff. That's how I view Clemson the rest of the way. And this is from someone that predicted Georgia to beat Clemson last week.
Yeah, I like Georgia as well. I had a little something. I didn't go official with it, but I had a little something on Georgia. Clemson -3. Come on, man. What are we doing here? It's way too short. People see that shit was taking it. What else you like? Now, I have noticed that you are better with those huge favorites, man. So what else you liking, my guy?
I like Wisconsin to cover 25 on Eastern Michigan. I went back and watched the game tape of Eastern Michigan's first matchup over the weekend. They're already a low-ranked bottom feeder type team from the MAC. I think Wisconsin will cover 25 on Eastern Michigan in this game. That's one I've already bet. And just looking at the offensive line of Eastern Michigan, they're too inferior. I know Wisconsin took everyone's money against Penn State. The world was on Wisconsin in that matchup. But if you zoom in, you can see that Wisconsin had 90-plus plays from scrimmage. Penn State only had 50. It's very rare in college football to almost double your opponent in plays from scrimmage and then still lose the game. So now they're playing a doormat. If they get anywhere near the 90 plays, they're going to crush them. They're going to crush Eastern Michigan. And then another play I like is Missouri. I like Missouri plus 5.5 against Kentucky. I think their front seven's a little underrated. Kentucky, I'm not a big believer in them, especially after an ATS win. You go back to the what's his name? Mark Stoops, the Stoops son. Mm-hmm. He's not, after a big ATS win, especially to start the season, he doesn't really perform well after that. A lot of my angles are in relation to what happened the previous week, but the dog in that series has won the game outright the last 5 meetings between Missouri and Kentucky. I know there's going to be a lot of tickets on Kentucky tomorrow. There probably already are, But I think Missouri will be good with the +5.5 and probably win outright.
I couldn't talk you off that one. I had that one written down as a lean, and then Wisconsin, I was possibly looking at a first half play in that one. Obviously, it's a huge bounce back spot, back to back home games as well. Eastern Michigan is no pushover, I must say, but still -15 in the first half for Wisconsin. That would be where I would look for them to go ahead and smash those boys out of the gate. Then possibly, hey, it should be a smash full game too. I think you're gonna cash that Wisconsin bet as well, my guys. So. What else you liking, man?
What is there anything to call? I know you're probably waiting. There's a lot to talk about even tomorrow, and things will even change up until game time. I'll give you an example too, Jay. Also, shout out to everyone in the chat as well for rocking with us. Hit the like button. Hit the like button while you're here. Free picks. Jay does this every day. But also, there's a game that I bet the other day in my video, but the line has actually moved. It's Mississippi State against NC State. We're seeing a lot of tickets on NC State. They're going to have to prove to me that they can win on the road against the mid-range SEC team. I'm not saying that Mississippi State's the best team in the world. I know they had to come back from behind to beat LA Tech, but I think people are going to put a lot of stock into their performance against South Florida. The public cashed big on that game against South Florida, but South Florida is horrible. They could possibly finish last place in the American Athletic Conference. Their quarterback is terrible, and they have a name that is bigger than their performance. Like, people remember South Florida from a couple of years ago where they were at least a 9-win team every year. They're not that same team, so don't put too much stock into NC State beating South Florida, because a lot of teams will. I lean Mississippi State, but the line has moved towards a pick. It was +3 the other day, so now I would take the money line with Mississippi State. It's a sharp call, I know it's tough, but I would take the money line.
Yeah, I saw your video. You're on Mississippi State +3, and it's tough, man, because I kind of like NC State in there. I don't like to go head to head with you, and I do think Mississippi State. They didn't have a good year at all last year. I had them versus LSU. They were a 17-point dog versus LSU. They ended up winning the game outright. There's no way in hell they should have been +17. But after that, they pretty much fell off the cliff. Obviously, Leach had to really his team had to get used to the new system, the air raid. They went from like power running football to an air raid. He's trying to take that Texas Tech, that Washington State over there. But obviously in the second year, they could be a lot better, and they could win this game. And it's a really good point. It was up to 3. Now it's back down to 1. So it's some sharp money coming in on Mississippi State. It's just, I was thinking NC State. This team is like, their defense is really good. They run that 3-3-5, and it's one of those defense that might actually stack up perfectly against what Mississippi State wants to do. So nothing official for me on NC State, but I did have that written down like that. It was gonna be something I'll try to attack, guys. This is obviously with this whole COVID stuff. Anything can happen. That's why I usually wait on Saturday morning to bet bet the games or whatever, or to go official. That way, there could be like 10 players out because of COVID, and we not know before the day of the game. Until like 30 minutes before the game, because the teams don't even really have to put out that info if they don't want it. Just be having you find something. So my plays, I'm on Iowa State first half -3, full game -4, my guys, and I'm also on Wyoming -7. This is our couple of teams that barely won in week 1, and then it's a bounce back. And on the flip side, Iowa looked really good in week 1, and Northern Illinois looked really good. They beat Georgia Tech as 19-point favorites. This Northern Illinois team is not that great. They got an all right defense, but their offense is not great as well. I don't know how the hell they beat Georgia Tech, but they did. They're in a letdown spot. I see Wyoming coming in here and handling business with those boys at the house, man. So huge letdown spot for Northern Illinois for me. I'm riding with Wyoming -7, and Iowa State. This is their year to beat Iowa, man. I said, if you guys had watched the show yesterday, I like them, man. They've lost to Iowa 5 straight times. The shortest the line has gotten was last year when they were 1.5-point dogs, and then they end up losing by 1. So they're getting closer and closer, teetering on the edge of beating Iowa. I do believe this is the year. This is the best squad they've had in recent memory. You can even see they're ranked higher than Iowa as well. But regardless of all that, I really like this team. I like Purdy at the quarterback, man. I think they're gonna win this game by a touchdown. The game of the year lines was at -7. It's come down to 4. My guy, we got a contrarian fave here with Iowa State. You don't usually have that. and at the house as well. It's going to be rocking up there. Give me Iowa State first half -3, and -4 the full game. Those are my top looks for college this weekend, man. And like I say, also like Wyoming. So I do believe that's a sharp ass call. I'm seeing a lot of people taking Iowa money line +4.5. They think it's going to be pretty much going to be easy. No way Iowa should be the underdog here. I think they're the underdog for a reason. This line was initially -7. It's down to 4. Give me that contrarian fave, my guy.
And those are two words.
Nobody likes it.
Straight up. And those are two words I hate. Easy and safe. Those are not words that we live by in this. Easy and safe. When I hear those words, I usually run the other way. I just want to say that. Those are sharp looks as well, bro. I'm going to, I hope everyone's writing them down. And Wyoming as well. Big letdown spot for Northern Illinois. I probably need to go back and watch the game tape of that one and see how that unfolded in the second half. Georgia Tech should be ashamed of themselves.
They should.
They should be ashamed. -19, bro.
I had Georgia Tech as a lean to. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I was doing some work, and it's like Georgia Tech. They should have smacked those guys, man. But I mean, it could have been a look ahead. They could have just looked past them, right? So we know that happens sometimes. It's like it's Northern Illinois. We're gonna go in here and win this one easily. And before you know it, they come out and they on your ass, man. But I mean, Wyoming saw it. Like I say, that line's been bid up from 4 to 7. So, and Wyoming's on the road. I think they're gonna go in there and smack those boys up by double digits, man. I like it.
There's a lot of money on the Iowa play. I want to talk about that specifically as well. Also, apologies to anyone that's watching about my lighting. I'm in a new place and I have nothing. I have nothing. I'm waiting for a whole bunch of stuff, try to deck my place out. But hey, it's that's how it goes, right? Baby steps. But the Iowa State match, I was actually having an interesting conversation about this game on Twitter earlier. I mean, Iowa, they're supposed to do it. When you look at the football, they're supposed to do it. But betting wise, just like listening to the contrarian within you, it's like why did Iowa State even open as favorites after Iowa smoked Indiana? Maybe Indiana's just not as good as everyone thought they were going to be going into this season, and that people are going to take a lot of stock into. I'm definitely tracking this line to see how it opens up tomorrow when everyone bets. This, whether you're into that or not, it is a fact that Iowa will be one of the 3 most bet teams tomorrow.
72% of the public is already on them. This is just what I'm seeing from one of these sites. 72% of the public is already on Iowa.
Iowa does have the coaching edge. Iowa has the coaching edge in this matchup. But, we're just going to have to see. To me, the line is suspicious, and I lean Iowa State as well. Did I bet it? I did not. But it's one of the spreads. I kid you not, it's in my notes right here with another game that we can also talk about that, it's in my sights for tomorrow to just track how the line. Saturday morning is when you see the line movement. You see it gradually for certain games over the course of time, like Mississippi State. A little suspicious Mississippi State line moved, but Saturday morning is when you can get better numbers or worse numbers, like Mississippi State. If you're trying to jump in now, it might be too late, but vice versa. Another game like Iowa State, you might get much better line tomorrow morning when everyone wakes up and sees Iowa. And there's a lot of people that aren't even thinking about college football, and it's Friday, So another game that's on my radar tomorrow is App State versus Miami.
Let's talk about that one and say just real quick. Hawkeyes.
It's a crazy game.
I got something to say about that one. Hawkeyes are 1-7 against the spread last 8 games as a road underdog. And so just to let you know the lines from the past 3 years. In 2015, Iowa was favored by 3.5. Then 2016, Iowa was favored by 15.5. 2017, favored by 3.5 again, favored by 3.5 in 2018, and then in 2019, then they were 1.5 point favorites. So this is the first time that Iowa State has been favored in the past 10 years. You see what I'm saying? So I'm just going back to 2010. Every single game since 2010, Iowa's been favored. Now they're the underdog. I think it's very telling, in my opinion. Let's talk about this Miami App State. I mean, one of these teams that's in a bounce back spot. What do you like, bro? Because I feel like App State is going to be the sexy dog, trendy dog here, and I think Miami bounces back here. Me personally, I know they're coming off a grueling type game against Alabama, and when you're playing a real heavy top tier team like that it just beats you up, you got a lot of bruises and bumps. But still, I think Miami wins this game by double digits. It creeped down to almost 7. Now it's back up to 9. What you think about this one?
Yeah, the line movement is interesting in this one. It is South Florida, so maybe we should take a look at the weather as well. But as of this moment, I have not the weather forecast for this game tomorrow, and it's in the evening. But I will just say this: go back over the last 10 years and look at teams that have expectations of themselves, that have standards, that have dignity, that get crushed by Alabama, and look what they do the week after that. They come out like it's the championship. They come out like it's the championship because they get crushed on national TV, and the game against Alabama was their Super Bowl. Now, maybe on the defensive side of the ball, Miami doesn't have the horses, but they definitely do on the offensive side of the ball, and they're suppressed. They're restrained. They were restrained by Alabama. I expect Miami to score in this game, and I expect them to cover the spread. I'm going to wait to see if it goes under 9 tomorrow. I hope it doesn't get to 10. If it gets to 10, that's my cutoff. But I do like Miami tomorrow against App State.
I'm glad you said.
I like
what
Miami.
it is? That's another contrarian fade. That's what it is, bro. People gonna be riding with App State. You good. People gonna ride at App State for the simple fact that they've been good over the past years. It's in the necessarily same Appalachian State team. I mean, even in week 1, they supposed to smack up Eastern Carolina, which they did after a while. But I mean, they struggled for a while. I was watching that game. East Carolina was hanging with those boys for a while. That's the reason why you see. I mean, and East Carolina is supposed to be a pretty good team this year, where it's at least better than years past. That's why you're seeing them take money versus the SEC squad in South Carolina, which that line is flipping all over the place. But regardless, I think people are going to be looking at years past App State, and I mean, I'm a fan of this Miami squad. I was possibly thinking I had them as a lean down for Alabama. It's like you just don't bet against Alabama. They'll make anybody look bad. I still think Miami. I mean, De'Aaron King wouldn't have came back if this team wasn't going to be good or if they didn't have high aspirations. So even though they just coming off their game versus Alabama, we do know it's going to be a huge step down in competition, even though they might be a little banged up after getting, blew out by them. Still, you got a damn good way to get your feet wet, right? You first game of the season, you face Alabama, then you go face App State. I think they win by a couple of touchdowns, man.
I think they do as well. And then conversely, thanks for relying on that too. There's a lot to choose from tomorrow. This is a loaded sports weekend. That's just one of many plays that I happen to like. I'm gonna, pinpoint which ones in terms of unit allotment, how much I'm gonna put on each one, probably right up till game time. I'm being a bit more cautious during this sort of pandemic era in college sports. A lot of unprecedented stuff going on, but and then we talk about the Alabama game. Some books, they've already opened the line. They're playing Mercer. Another tidbit for you guys. But
why? Just
I have some thoughts on this game.
Why are they playing? You're the best college football team pretty much ever. Why are you playing games like Mercer? Like, seriously, I don't even understand how that game gets put on the schedule.
They have one game like that every year. It's crazy.
Yeah, I don't understand it, bro. They should have the hardest schedule. If they're gonna win, regardless, they should have the hardest schedule in the at some point we got to make this shit fair. That's just an easy win, man. If they could blow out Miami like that, right? What do they need to play? I don't know. I have a very strong opinion against it.
I have some interesting thoughts on this game, and everyone in the chat they might not like it, Jay. They might not like it, but I follow Nick Saban very closely. I follow Alabama very, very closely. I follow Georgia very closely as well, just so you guys know. But tomorrow in the Alabama game, they will if the first half line opens up under 28, they will cover the first half and they will not cover the full game. 56.5. If the spread touches 56.5, they will not cover the full game. Just remember you heard that. Against FCS schools and Group of 5 schools, Nick Saban, I'm not sure if he has a handshake agreement with these schools, but he does not cover against Group of 5 and not Power 5, Group of 5 and FCS schools. He takes his foot off the gas pedal in the second half and tells the third string guys, even some. Bro, I forgot what game it was. It was like 3 years ago. There was a game where they almost covered at the half against the FCS school. They almost covered at the half and didn't score any more with the running clock in the second half. So I think tomorrow that Alabama covers the first half against Mercer and they don't cover the full game, 56.5. It's crazy to say it's big, bad Alabama, but don't take my guy knows a guy's word for it. Just go look at the data yourself and look at Nick Saban's performance against FCS schools and Group of 5 schools since he was hired at Alabama. And
Man,
you'll see that
Alabama.
it's been a winning bet. But when he plays Power 5 schools from outside the conference, he splatters them like he did Miami.
Yeah,
Every
Alabama
time.
first
Every single
half
time.
almost cashed pretty much every time. No, I'm sure that's the bookies' nightmare. Alabama first half. Obviously, they cashed again versus Miami. So I'll be interested to see what happened with that game. And guys in the chat, I know that they're paying Mercer a lot of money. I know this. Obviously, it's good for Mercer. What I'm saying is, if Alabama is the best team in college football, pretty much every year, which they are, get the best recruits, all of this. Why do you even have to pay Mercer for this game? Seriously, I mean, you don't need any easy wins. You just blew out a ranked Miami squad. You sent by 31 points, man. There's no reason for it. I'm sorry, man, but I don't know. I hope Mercer does cover, man. I hope Mercer wins. All right, let's stop. Let's stop.
No, people are actually mad that the first half line is not out right now. People are angry that the Alabama first half spread has not been released already. I'm telling you, and I'm not even going to bet them on the first half, but I may sprinkle a little, especially if it touches 56, the plus 56. I might sprinkle,
okay,
nowhere near the other.
I hope you catch it, man. Yeah, I was thinking last week I was like, look, Alabama, just bet Alabama first halves and retire, man. But I'm gonna talk about some more games, man, that I'm leaning towards, my guy. I know Toledo is really starting to gain a lot of steam versus Notre Dame. Obviously, a lot of people not really. I'm scared of that one because the way that Brian Kelly's saying, like, our team needs to be executed. I'm kind of scared of. I know Toledo is not a pushover, but maybe Notre Dame, like maybe they really come out here and have a lot to prove. You see what I'm saying? So it's a crazy game there. UAB, obviously, we got to talk about that. Daniels may not. He has an oblique injury. He's questionable. He'll likely play, but I kind of feel like they might take it easy versus UAB, who has a really good run defense. You can see Georgia. I believe they got obviously another game on deck. I mean, they don't play teams like UAB all the time. Just let me see who they play, who they have on deck, my guy. What you think about that, Georgia? Georgia's coming off one of their huge. Biggest wins in a while now at the house, laying almost 4 touchdowns. But the line is starting to come down now, obviously with the Daniels news. But what you think about this? You think UAB can hang tough?
Okay, I want to share. Georgia's my squad. Georgia's my squad in college football.
It's down to 22.5 now. It's coming down.
There's COVID news with Georgia. There's COVID news with Georgia from 3 days ago. Kirby Smart said that they're experiencing their highest levels of COVID activity on the roster since like a year ago, but he didn't disclose which players just caught the virus. So that's why the line dipped. This was two or 3 days ago. You guys can look up the reports yourself. That Kirby Smart said that there is a spike of COVID in the locker room, but these COVID type of games, I usually just dodge them. I usually just dodge them. They're coming off a big emotional game against Clemson. I'm not going to lay 24.5 with Georgia right now. Even though I think that they could still score. It's the defensive side of the ball. The secondary, are they going to put UAB? They're not a Power 5 school, but they have a little bit of an aerial attack, or at least they were projected to on paper before that first game of the season. The Georgia UAB game is one that I will skip. Got you. Yeah, no, I was just until I get more information on the COVID.
If you could, it was up at 26. It's down to starting to touch 22 now. So it'll be interesting to see. It'd be interesting to see what happens in that one, man. Like I had Miami written down. Washington is another one, bro. What do you think about this one? Now, Miami, the game of the year lines, or before the season, Miami was or Michigan was favored by 1.5. It's up to 7 now. They blew out Western Michigan at 17-point favorites in week 1, and then you had Washington losing to Montana. You see a huge I don't know about you, but when I see a team that especially ranked number 20th in the country, obviously they're not ranked anymore. When I see a team lose to an FCS school like that, which they were obviously looking ahead, I kind of look towards a bounce back. Like a lot of people will want to go. I mean, just look at it. I mean, that's a sharp versus public thing as well. A lot of people look, hey, we need to fade this team. They're not numbered. They shouldn't be ranked. They're terrible. They just lost to an FCS squad. Then the sharps will kind of look towards maybe we need to hop on them this week. Maybe it's a huge bounce back and they'll come in very focused. I like Washington here. I told my guy Shark yesterday, I'm just waiting for it to get to 7. 7 starting to pop up there. I like Washington plus the 7 versus Michigan. What you thinking, my guy?
I like Washington as well. This is one that's on my short list, Jay. It doesn't make sense, but I'm not a Jim Harbaugh guy. I think that he does smell weakness in the Big Ten in the division with maybe Ohio State not being weak, but maybe taking a half step back this year, based on what I saw when they played Minnesota, But if we're going off that game defensively, maybe Ohio State's going to take half of a step back, and Jim Harbaugh might smell blood. But I don't think he has the horses. Washington, I think that was a true look-ahead game, and that +7 might be a good number with Washington. It's a dramatic increase in competition for Michigan this week, and Michigan may end up being frauds in this one. Wouldn't be surprised if Washington's up at the half with Jim Harbaugh. Wins all the games he's supposed to win, never wins a single game that's supposed to be competitive. I know that's a harsh critique, but this is what Jim Harbaugh does. He beats up on fleas, and when he has formidable opponents, maybe people don't think Washington is that formidable, but they're definitely more formidable than Western Michigan.
Exactly. Yeah, I can see it to be in a low-scoring game. I can see it going to the under, and I could only be looking towards. Oh man, we got somebody doing Chinese sandwiches, man. What's up, my guy? Appreciate you for watching, man. Just don't spam me. Let me see. I gotta put them in at least timeout, man. Come on, man. But yeah, man. Hey, that's
I gotta learn that one.
Like I said, officials for me, Iowa State first half -3 and full game -4. And it's up to 4.5. I still like it. If you wait till the morning, it should drop down to 4 at the very least, if not 3.5. The public is very bullish on Iowa plus the points here. And I'm on Wyoming -7. Tonight, I did put a little something on first half on the Boise State first half over. So it's UTEP versus Boise. First half over 30. I got a heavy lean to the full game over 57. I might hop on. I'm still thinking if I'm going to make that one official or not. But I don't want to make too many officials. But the first half over 30, I do like it. The first quarter is at 13.5. think we see a couple of touchdowns by Boise State alone. Boise State is favored by 7 in that first quarter as well, guys. It's juice, but I think they'll be up by double digits at the end of the first quarter. You got to come out and smack these boys. They underperformed, and they almost beat UCF, and they still underperformed in that game. I know UTEP is a little step back. I think they'll get at least a couple of touchdowns in this game. I see both teams going over their team total, so I guess I like the over in that game. But give me the first half over 30. They're going with Wyoming -7 tomorrow. Iowa State first half full game. My guy, what you liking? What's your officials?
For tomorrow, I'm going with Missouri +5.5. I'm going with Wisconsin -25, and I'm going with Clemson, particularly if you can get the line under 49. Maybe by 1 point in that one. I like those. I also like Miami to cover, and I like Mississippi State. I have a few other plays too, but those ones I probably have to finalize them.
Got you.
Yeah, that's what I like for tomorrow.
Let's get to it.
No play for me tonight.
What you want to do? You want to give about some NFL plays? What I just want to know personally, what are you looking at in the NFL? I can tell you now. I already put in Seahawks -2.5 and Cardinals +3. That's the only two. But I got Rams -7. But like I said, I don't even want to give it out. It's gonna be the last. That's the Sunday night game, and whoever lost your money during the NFL is gonna be betting the Rams. So it's already up to 7.5. I still think they're gonna smack the Bears though. But that's kind of like a fanboy. Rams are my squad. I told my guy Shark yesterday they're going to the Super Bowl, man. He doesn't believe me, but we'll see. But what you think, man? I'm on Seahawks and Cardinals official for me for NFL. What you got?
I didn't finalize my work in the NFL. Shout out to everyone in the chat who's still hanging around watching as well. But I am looking at the Washington football team, and I'm looking at the Giants. Both teams to win outright. So going to see what the number is on game day, and put out some stuff about that as well. And, I'm looking at the Giants and Washington football team. Maybe the Steelers as well. Just looking at all the news. The news is still changing rapidly in the NFL. It's going crazy, actually. Just look at what happened to the Ravens. Some of these spots, I advise betting them right at kickoff for week 1. Don't splurge before game day unless you have a really, really sharp number that you think is going to move in the opposite direction. But I'm 100% looking at the Giants and the Washington football team. I think Justin Herbert, don't think he's going to be a superstar as early as everyone thinks. It's going to be a little different when there are fans in the stadium, and I think that the Chargers, their outlook for them is still good for the season. But give me Ryan Fitzpatrick through weeks 1 and 4. He looks like Michael Jordan. Weeks 1 through 4, he looks like Tom Brady.
Age, man. What is he, 38, 39 now?
Just talking trash.
Journeyman.
He's serviceable, but it's really the defense and the hype around Herbert and the Chargers. I think that they're going to have a decent season, maybe even make the playoffs. It's going to be tough. You know, I think that there are three
receiver.
quality.
If I ain't mistaken, just went down and just got put on the IR. Samuel, if I ain't mistaken, I don't know, man.
I know this sounds crazy too, Jay, but I'm looking at the Chiefs.
I was leaning Chargers. I'll be honest with you.
I'm leaning towards the Chiefs too. That's not a really big surprise, but I mean, there's a lot of Browns money out here right now. I don't know. I mean, I think that the Browns, they're a really good team, and position for position, they can go head to head with any team in the NFL. You know, especially at all the positions that the most important positions. You know, they have maybe the best roster. Like from they have one of the best rosters on paper. Actually, the Cleveland Browns. It's just that I don't think that this game should be 50-50 in dollar count just because of the revenge game angle. I'm not really buying into it. And, you know, to me, the Browns are still like the Padres and the Sacramento Kings. San Diego Padres, Sacramento Kings, you know? That's where I put them. Sorry, Browns.
I was hoping for a
You might not make the playoffs this year. Might not make the playoffs.
I was hoping for a little bit more points in that, which they are getting respected. It is a revenge game, especially playoff revenge. It's definitely, and there's that thing with the Super Bowl loser. I'm not really a fan of. Obviously, you don't just necessarily. Sometimes you go with trends or whatever, but you still have to look at the matchups. So I'm not a big fan of the Super Bowl loser trend or whatever. I feel like obviously like they have a lot to prove, and the Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes saying that he wants to make sure that that type of game never happens again. That blowout in the Super Bowl. So it's a tough one. I don't know. I don't have anything on that one, but yeah, Seahawks -2.5, and then. I know Indianapolis is 1-12 against the spread in week 11. I believe 1-11 straight up as well. So regardless, I'm not a real Carson Wentz believer, and I'm a believer of Russell Wilson. So they got him some new toys out there. You see what I'm saying? New offensive coordinator, going to let them open it up. Be interested to see what happens. They kind of tried to remake the little offensive line. So hopefully he's not running for his life this year. But I like the Seahawks in this one. It's week 1, so I don't really care about them traveling to the Midwest or anything like that. But yeah, Seahawks -2.5 and Cardinals +3 for me. My God, I know the Titans.
I'm a Seahawks fan, Jay. Just disclaimer, you know.
Let's fucking go.
I just want to say I don't want to scare the bet. I just want to say it. I hate the Seahawks in week 1.
Man, I can't really.
They're a fucked up team.
Like we finna fly. We finna fly on this
Russell.
coach.
Best quarterback in the division. Hey guys, don't bet your last dollar on Matthew Stafford. I'm telling you that. Over the course of the season. They're trying to say he's Joe Montana now.
Hey, look here, man. Hey, don't talk about Stafford like that, man. The Rams are I don't really have many favorite teams, but I like the Rams, and they were that good with golf. I mean, huge upgrade at quarterback. I don't care, man. That's
upgrade.
That's all the Rams were missing. They got the defense. They got the offensive minds. They didn't have the quarterback, which is the most important position in football. They're going to the Super Bowl. I don't give a damn. I don't care, Shark. I know you don't like it, but when they in the Super Bowl, I need y'all to remember who. But I think the Rams. I think they're gonna take a step forward, man. McVay.
My Super Bowl this year.
Who you got?
I got Lamar Jackson versus Russell Wilson. It will be the greatest Super Bowl we've ever seen.
Man, them boys, there's a couple of huge injuries. See that, bro? Back to back.
I want to see the reaction. Lamar Jackson versus Russell Wilson in the Super Bowl, the greatest Super Bowl we will ever see.
Hey, I'd love to see Lamar Jackson in the Super Bowl. I must say, I want to see him win one. To be honest, they got to replace some. We'll see what Le'Veon Bell do, man, and Devontae Freeman, because they had to get some more running backs, and then they just got
Latavius Murray today, though.
Yeah, they lost Peters as well, cornerback. Man, that's a tough one there.
Tough.
Bro.
What kind of practice did they have, bro? Right. What kind of practice was that?
What y'all doing? Hey, they stopped practice after that.
Nah, that was like that's one of those where you feel me?
Rams going. I don't give a damn what they say, man. One last sharp take, man. I think the Cowboys here pretty soon. Jerry Jones gonna pay off the refs, do whatever he got to. And last night's game, the refs were on the Cowboys, but that's a whole nother thing. I think the Cowboys, one of these next few years, as long as Dak can stay healthy, I think they'll put the tools around them. You know how NFL is. It's too political. Jerry Jones, he will pay for the Super Bowl one of these years, bro.
We call that the handshake title.
Exactly. Saints. All right. I'm sorry. I don't want to make nobody
glove.
Mad.
The velvet glove.
I don't want to make nobody mad, but
I'm just talking trash.
We finna get out of here, man. Anything else you want to say before we get out of here, my guy?
Oh no, I'm just grateful to just talk sports. You know, it can't all. It's for money, obviously, but you have to just have fun talking sports. And Jay is my brother. Shout out to everyone in the chat, my bro. Shark, everyone in there, bro. Big football contest. I'm excited to participate in it as well. And that I do these shorter videos. If you guys are interested, I do have a YouTube channel. But if for more information on that, maybe just follow me on Twitter at My Guy Knows a Guy. I've been on here a couple times. Never really shared my Twitter account, but I am on Twitter actively, where I communicate with Jay all the time at My Guy Knows a Guy. Sports betting is pretty much what I talk 90% of the time, and yeah, hey, that's it. You know, we talk our bets, and we recap everything, analyzing all sports. We do this, and I'm really thankful just to talk sports and just continue to go up,
My
up,
guy.
up.
Appreciate you, my guy. Appreciate you. My guy, Big Guy Sports says, Jay, it's dumping here in Boise right now, and you still like the over. I'm on the first half over 30. I already betted. I'm not buying out of it. It's not a huge play for me, but I am on the over 30. I still like it regardless, even if it was raining in UCF as well, and those boys still scoring points. So it's a lot of different ways that points can be scored defensively, fumbles returned, for, you know what I'm saying, pick six, all type of stuff, man. But regardless, I'm on the first half over. I still like points in that one. I think UTEP will get theirs, and I definitely think Boise State will get theirs. And I don't think Boise State will let up in this one, just me personally. They do have an OK State in the next week, but I don't see a look ahead with them being 0-1 with a new coach. I think they're showing out tonight on the blue turf. We're going back to the old Boise days with this one, man. So over 30 for me, first half. That's tonight's play, but a little bit bigger plays for me, obviously, on Saturday. I absolutely love Iowa State. The fact that nobody else loves them, I like them. It's a lot of things boding well for them. The line, in my opinion, was good. It's telling a numerical story, like my guy Shark always says. Iowa State first half -3, full game -4, and I'm on Wyoming -7. Those are the main plays. But guys that's looking for a little action tonight, I put, just to make the game fun, I put some on over 30 first half, Boise State versus UTEP, my guys. So
Let's go. Ride with J Money. Let's go.
Exactly. I appreciate you guys, man, for tuning in. That's my guy Friday. We're gonna be doing some college football, some NFL until on football. Only thing I can talk about until NBA gets back. But obviously, when NBA gets back, it's nothing but NBA talk. You dig it, man? So we're gonna be live with my guy here. I'm gonna be live with my guy Shark. Anybody else that's trying to talk some football, y'all can come on as well, man. I'm just trying to cash. It's us versus the bookies, man. So we just trying to cash. We're trying to spread the wealth, my guys. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. Hit the like button, subscribe, share the show if you can. We appreciate everybody for tuning in. We gone.
Peace, everyone.